Good evening and welcome to True Dugman Encounters. I'm your host, Marvin Allen. If you or anybody that you've known have had a sighting or encounter and would like to share it on my channel, then please contact me. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and subscribe. For those of you who are just members of my Facebook page, can y'all please go over to my YouTube page and join there? Because they are PAC members too, and vice versa. As you all know, I have been uploading, and I'm going to do the rest of Ty J's real soon. So please just be patient with me. As you all know, when it comes to this subject right here, there's no experts. There's just none. It's not nobody out there that know everything. It's impossible. I don't believe it. But you got some people out there that believe what a person say. I'm telling you that this creature came from the planet Rick Rock. They could say anything. A person will fall for that. Come on, you can't listen to everything. You just can't. Do your own research. Don't let nobody tell you that it's this, is that, it's this, is that, because it's not. Especially for the ones who have been sitting behind a computer ever since they started researching these creatures, and to tell you that this is what it is. This is what it is. Like these types. Me, myself, for say, I don't believe in no types. Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4A, type 4B. I just don't believe in that types. Where did you come up with types from? The person who said this never explained it to us. And if you did, you must explain it to a select few. So the person that came up with types, can you explain to me and my pack family, how did you come up with that? That's all I'm asking. I just don't believe in types. I just think there are different kinds, like animals, just like there are different kinds of dogs, shepherds, chow, Dobermans, um, and you got Malamutes, you got Mastiffs, and you got Dobermans, and you got Labradors. You got so many different kinds of dogs. So that's what I think it is when it comes to these creatures, these cryptids. You got some that look just like hyenas. I mean, spots and everything. So how do you explain that? How can you explain that? How can you say what they types then? They got different looks to them that makes them what they are. Now, in the human aspect, that's what we should be working on. That's what we should be finding out the answer to. When you say it got these human aspects and these human attributes to it. Meaning, some people think that these fallen angels not only had sex with women of the earth, but also animals. They defiled everything. Maybe that's why we come out with such large, these different things. That's why we got so many things that extremely large, too big. Look at a redwood tree. The thing is humongous. and it make us look like a dot next to it. A dot. That's how huge this tree is. But like I said, do your own research and find out what you can come up with, and then you can share it to the group. As you all know, anonymity means a lot to me, and I breaks that for no one. Ever, never. I stay on course, and I do what I have to do. If a person asks me not to do something, I'm not doing it, regardless. I'm just not. So I'm going to stick to that. Now this encounter right here, this is it's a good encounter. And I got this encounter from my eyewitness right here. It was somewhere in West Virginia. So, without further ado, let's jump right in to this encounter. Now, this encounter right here happened in West Virginia. And my eyewitness said it was around 2015. He said at that time, he was 23 years old. And he still was staying home with his mother. Reason being is because his mother was real sick. And he was the only child. So he stayed home. He stayed there so he can take care of his mother. Said the one thing that he liked it doing was hunting and fishing. Mostly fishing. Because he said he just enjoyed that. He said so one weekend he decided to go fishing. So he got everything that he needed. He grabbed his cooler, grabbed his rod, grabbed everything, took it out, put it in his truck, and he head up. He head up the road towards this spot that he always go to when he go fishing. Parks, he gets out, and he walks. And he walks, and he walks, and he walks. Finally, he gets to this spot, and he sets up. Grab his reel, put his bait on, go to the edge, cast it, hits the water. He's waiting. Said when he first got out there, he noticed, because it was still dark out, but it was still going to be daybreak. So he just heard as the animals started to make their noise, to make their calls. So he said around 20 minutes go past, and he catches his first fish. He reels it in, takes it off the hook, and he places it in the cooler. Got ready, some more bait on his line. Takes it, lands in the water again. He casts another one. So he's standing there, trying to see how long it's going to take for him to catch his next fish. All of a sudden, something hit the line. Reels it in, caught another fish. It's the second one. Takes it off, puts it in the cooler. Stands there for a few, getting ready to put the bait back on the hook when he get a phone call. He get a phone call and it's his mom's. And his mom asks him, baby, when you coming back home, you know you got to pick up my medication today. He says this is what his mother telling him. And he said that's one thing that he never forgot was to get her medication and make sure that she's taking it. So he said, Ma, I will be home. I will be there in time enough so I can go get your medication. So she said, be careful and I'll see you when you get here. He said, I love you. And he said, I love you too, Ma. He hung up the phone. And when he hung up the phone, and he said he was getting ready to throw his reel back into the water, he noticed that everything around him got dead quiet. He said you couldn't hear nothing, not a sound. And he's standing there. He said, that's odd. I was just hearing everything. He said, but now you couldn't hear nothing. But he brushed it off and he paid it no attention. Proceeded to cast his reel. Hits the water again. Stands in there. Trying to catch his next fish. Said a few minutes would pass by. And that's when he hear. Bloop. That's when he hear something hits the water. Soon as it did that, he say, what the? And he looks in that direction. And he could see the splashes of water coming up. So he say, what the? And he said, is anybody, yells out, anybody over there? Excuse me, is anybody over there? Nothing. You couldn't hear nothing, no sounds, no nothing. So he stood still, just listening. Then he began playing with his reel again. That's when he hear that sound again. Bloop, hits the water again. This time, it's on a diagonal position coming towards him on the other side. When it hits in the water, blick up. He looks. He said, look, stop playing games. Stop doing that for you. Hit somebody. It's somebody over there. Still, he hear no sounds. He hear nothing. All of a sudden, something hit the line. He hurry up. He reels it in. He catches another fish. Reels it all the way up. Begins to take it off the hook. He places it in his cooler. Reaches, grab another pieces of bait. Puts it on the hook. That's when he hear the sound. Crunch, crack, crunch, crack, crunch, crack. He hear the sounds of breaking leaves, twigs, and sticks. And he noticed that the way that this, whatever it is, walking, it's bipedal. It's standing up on 2 feet. It's standing up on 2 legs. After this thing or whatever it is, take these steps, it stops. And he say to himself again, what the is that? He yells out, is anybody over there? I can hear you walking. Because mind you, at this time, he don't know what it is. He said, I know it's somebody over there. I can hear you walking. Stop throwing whatever you throwing before you hit me with it. But he get no response back from whatever this thing is. He gets his vase on the line. He casts his rod back out again. He stands there and he listening. A few minutes would pass. Here come that sound again. Bloop, pew, hits the water again. And this time, it's a little further over on the other side where he's at. And he yells out again, look, mother, stop throwing over here for you hit me with something. Now, mind you, my eyewitness is licensed to carry. And he do have his weapon on him, but he didn't take it out the holster. He just kept telling whatever that was to stop before you hit me with something. Still, no response. So he's standing there. That's when he hear crack, crunch, crack, crunch, crack, crunch. He hear them sounds again. The sticks, the twigs, and the leaves. Something is walking by Peter again. And he say when he heard it, he said it's like it's moving to his right, which would be to this, whatever it is, left. He said then this thing stopped. And when it stopped, he looks over. And when he looks over, he see what he said he seen at first was one bright yellow eye. Now mind you, the trees and the brush was over there. It was thick during this time. He see one eye peeking through the opening in the leaves. And as he's looking at that one eye, he sees something parts. He sees something reaches out in parts. That's when he see this gigantic type wolf head come between them brushes and leaves. And when it parts through, it shows him everything it had in its mouth. And my eyewitness said, what the is that? And he looking at this thing. Said this thing looked like something in a horror movie. He said he got to be looking at a werewolf now. He said, because that's what this thing looked like in the face. Said this thing parted. And it then began to step out. Boom. Boom. say this thing walked to the edge of the water and it stops and it stands there bipedal on his hind legs. My witness said that's when his jaw dropped and that fishing rod dropped, hit the ground. And he's standing there looking at this, what he said was a monster. He said he's standing there and he watching this thing. And this thing just looking over, watching him. Huge head, massive shoulders, long arms that hung down in front, huge hands with claws on the end of each finger, and dog-type canine legs. He watching this thing, and this thing is watching him. He said after about 40 seconds of them looking at each other, he said he began to back up and walk to his left. He said he left everything, cooler rod, whatever. He didn't take nothing. He began to walk to his left, down, so he can cut back up that trail. So he walking down that way. And when he walking down that way, he hear on the other side, boom, 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 boom. So he stopped. He said, and when he stopped, this thing stopped. He said this thing had some type of intelligence because it stopped right when he stopped. He turned and he looked over. When he turned and he looked over, he said that's when this creature began to growl. And he said he could feel it in his body. He began to walk again. This creature began to walk. He gets to the trail and he stops. This creature stopped. See, that's when he take his gun out his holster. Takes his gun out his holster. He looking over at this thing. He started backing up into this trail. He's walking up on this trail. He's walking backwards. Turn around and see where he's going and watch this creature. He said that's when this creature started to run. He said this creature started to run in the same direction that it was going in. And then it stopped. It stopped before it got to the tree line. Because down that end of where he used to go fishing at, it was nothing but trees that circled this whole area of where he was at fishing. He said that's when this creature decided to come on the same side that he was on. So it walked up into the tree line and started to circle around to his side. He said he up in the tree line, he up in that path though, still walking backwards. But he looking through the trees watching this thing. He see this creature when it breaks the tree line and comes down on the same side that he was on. He's still walking. He walking his path until he can make it up to get on that main path that'll take him out there. So he's still walking. He's still walking. When he gets up on the main path, he stopped. Said he see this creature continue to walk. It walks down and get on that path coming up into the tree line, coming up towards him. And he can see all the way down. And he see that creature standing there. And then it began to start walking up that path. He cocks him. He cocks him because he ready now. And he know that he probably gonna have to shoot this creature. Which he said in his mind, he know he ain't gonna kill it. But it kept walking. Boom! Warning shot. Hit the tree. Boom! Another warning shot. And hit the tree. Boom! Hit the dirt. But this creature don't want to stop. It's still walking. And it got tremendous strides on it. It's still walking. This time he aimed. Squeeze twice. He can hear the impact when he hit this creature. He said, because when he heard that sound, the creature kind of stumbled back a little bit and it just stopped and it stood there. He said this creature was pissed. This creature was mad. Said this creature looked down and then it looked back up at him. He said then it looked down again and back up at him. And he continued to keep walking in his direction. He aims again. When he aims it up this time, the creature stopped. He gets up on that trail with the gun still aiming. He gets up on that trail, that main trail. He started walking sideways down in that direction, still watching this creature. He said that's when this creature must have had enough. It dropped down to all fours, turned, and shot back down towards the water. And he hauled tail out of there. He said that was the first time that he shared his encounter. He was just happy to get it out there. I'm happy to give it to y'all. So, y'all know how we do it. I'll see y'all on the next True Dugman Encounters. Let's get it.